And these two ladies that go to the temple here in town, we were having a conversation, about just all this chaos and the pain and suffering in the world right now. And one being in Egypt, the recent massacre at the mosque of 305 Muslims, which was just devastating, and it's, as a conversation, Ellen made the comment to her, well, I'm beginning to think that maybe this world's never going to stop being crazy. Well, the Course in Miracles does say that in so many words, that this world isn't meant to be fixed, it's meant to be forgiven. To really be able to just show up in total love, no matter what. If I'm in that position of watching the news and seeing this tragedy, what's the greatest gift I can respond with? Love. And how may I be of greater service? Well, I went on to push the envelope, and I've shared this before, but I do believe that all of these terrorists, around the world, or any person who is an evildoer, and when I say evildoer, people who act in fear, I really believe that is a program. There's people who, we can, if we want to put it into levels, there's people who are prejudiced against people of a different color. There's people that are prejudiced against people of different sexual orientations. People who are prejudiced about religions. If you don't fit into their box, then all of a sudden you're the enemy, okay? But really, and let's take it on a grand scale, maybe of the terrorists. And they believe they're here on a holy mission to just rid the world of anyone who's not like them. And it's so devastating to see the actions that they'll take. But the one step further I'd like to suggest is, what would it take for a person to be able to pull that trigger? Or a person to be able to go in Las Vegas and just gun down, as many people as they could in the fastest amount of time? What kind of mind would that person have? And it's a program. I can see, you see these little terrorists, and I've seen videos of these little 4-year-olds, and they've got them in fatigues with big guns, and they're training them to hate Jews and to hate whoever they need to hate, Americans or whatever. So they're programmed at an early age to hate us, to hate anyone not like them. So that's where I tend to have compassion. And this woman looked at me like, you are so screwed up. That is, those people, nobody does that deserves compassion. And and I'm not condoning, but I'm just saying, we're all really doing the best we can. And try, if we could just try not to judge so quickly, be more free to love rather than to judge, and know that we're just a product of our programming. We really are. So we got to really shift the program from our head and our analyzing to our hearts, our heart space, and come from that. And since we're all connected, that's how we lift the vibe of the world. Truly, 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 truly. Now there's a quote in the Course in Miracles, and there's also a quote here that says, I need do nothing. And that doesn't mean you sit at the TV and eat bonbons all day, or maybe it does, I don't know. But what it really is saying is, my little self, of myself, I can do nothing. But when I'm plugged into Source and to love, I can do anything. There's no limit to the possibilities. So it's about pushing that little ego mind out of the way and saying, of myself I can do nothing, but I know Spirit can do anything and everything. So the more we reinforce self-love, love and appreciation for each other, sharing, giving, extending, that's just building a vibe that really hatred can't penetrate. Eventually, I think if we just blast enough love, enough understanding, enough peace, that there's not going to be a vibration that darkness and hatred can survive in. I truly believe that. But it's not about me judging anything or making anything wrong. There's a Jesus said, "Once I said to a beloved brother, merely stand with your arms outstretched and palms up. Open your heart deeply and ask whatsoever you will, and it shall be given you. But ask as the awakened Christ, asking from the place that knows only love is real." And if we can just go from that one place of knowing that only love is real, then nothing else matters. There's nothing. One teaching from A Course in Miracles that I find so meaningful for me, it says, imagine the greatest sense of peace or the greatest sense of joy or love you've ever had in your life, and multiply that by 1,000 and 1,000 times again, and that's not a glimpse of what this speaks of. We can't even imagine what heaven is, but we constantly get distracted through judgment, through projections, through our fear, through our programming, and so that keeps that veil between us and that eternal knowing of what love truly is. So it's about, just sit here and say, feel and know the reality of God's love. I am a being of love. That's all I care about. All I care about. Above all else, I choose love. And then it goes on a daily exercise that it says, say to yourself, I love myself. I love myself. Look in the mirror. I love myself. And mean it. But at first it might be a little uncomfortable, but it gets easier. And because as A Course in Miracles also says, the quote that I find so wonderful, those who see themselves as whole make no demands. So the more healed and whole I am, really doesn't matter what's going on outside of me. Because the world, again, is 100% projection of my thoughts about it, of me. So you want to know where your consciousness is. How do you see the world? Are you angry? Are you fearful? Are you afraid? That's the ego mind. That's the program mind. Or am I joyful? Am I forgiving? Am I loving? That's the mind of God. And I can promise you the mind of God is much more powerful than the other. And who can I extend love to now? And how can I experience love now? It's much simpler than you think. For indeed, beloved friends, if you truly accepted yourself as Christ, you would know that you couldn't fail. And if you couldn't fail, what would you do with your time? If you knew you could not possibly fail, that the universe will support you completely at all times as you choose only to act, to do, to think in a way that extends love, would you be living where you're currently living? Would you be doing with your time what you're currently doing? Many of you have answered no, because you think you must survive first in order to teach only love. And I believe that's such a powerful statement. It's kind of like we'll put that on the back burner. I got to worry about the bills. I got to get rid of this physical manifestation. I got to get out of this relationship. I got to whatever. And then I'll have time and energy to love. But it's the reverse. Choose love first. And so if we really live from that context, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? I bet you your whole life could be different. Because there is no failing. I think that anyone who's been successful says that they failed many more times than they've succeeded. And as they said, Thomas Edison knows 10,000 ways not to make a light bulb. So he didn't get it on his first shot. So, we're here to just let go moment by moment, knowing that there is a greater universe here to support us if we just get out of the way. And this is one thing I do find, this is something that I believe this from my heart, my body hadn't caught up to it yet. Those who know that only love is real are not concerned with what they eat and what they drink, for these things come into the body and leave the body. They are concerned only with whether or not what they consume for the sake of the body was consumed in love. And it's so true. It's It's not the chocolate cake that makes you fat, it's the guilt we attach to it.
Really?
It's the, it's always, we give everything all the meaning that it has. And, it's, not to say just go out and eat 4 chocolate cakes. Well, maybe. But it's more about understanding that we give everything all the meaning that it has. And we can get so tripped up and so fearful. I know people that they're so fearful over putting a piece of bread in their mouth, or a piece of chocolate cake in their mouth, or whatever. And before you know it, there's really not, you're gluten-free, you're vegetarian, you're and before what's left? Water. Well, the water's all tainted too. It's like, now what? So it's like, we got sunlight, but now we got all those bad rays, so I don't know, we're screwed. And, but there's people in that, it's about whatever it is, ingest it with love. Ingest our thoughts, our feelings, our food, everything with love. And then the world can't touch us. That's the true power. And even though I haven't mastered that, as I said, my physical body, I aspire to that, because I do know that to be the truth. But the thing that we need to do is the Holy Spirit meets you where you are and might say, choose this, not that. You're not quite where we're speaking of here yet. So every moment, do the best we can, commit to choosing love. And so it's ingest it all with love. It's this is as far as ingesting with love, ask yourself this: what is it that I have not been willing to digest about this life and this world? Where am I refusing to bring my love? Is it your government? Your International Revenue Service? Is it your mate? Is it your children? Is it your pet? Is it the school system? What is it that you're still refusing to bring your love to? Because the greatest joy in life is to be the lover of life. For as you love, you experience love. Therefore, do unto others what you have done unto yourself. And is that not to be loved? And it goes on to say, when you choose love in any given moment, you are the one that gets to receive the benefits of love first. It's an immediate experience and can't be taken from it. And I love this. It says, feel free to juice yourself anytime you want by choosing only love. And I love that idea. Be the first, you're the first to receive it. And choose love. I mean, it seems so easy. We're doing a really good job. Each and every one of you guys are awesome. You really are. And so loving, and I think, and I'm so grateful, when I do get on my little pity pot or upset about this or that, that's what sort of brings me back around. It's like, wow, and for some people it's a little bit much. It's kind of like, some people say it's, walking into this room is a little bit heavy, intimidating, like, whoa, that love is too strong. Because when you're holding on to that fear, you're an angry person, walking into the vibe of love can sometimes be very frightening. So in closing, remember this: there is nothing outside of you, there's nothing outside of me. And with that, peace will be unto you always, O holy child of God. And so it is. Amen. Amen.